Yeah, great ball game. Unbelievable crowd. Again, want to give a shout out to our fans buying up all the tickets. You know, that's as good as atmosphere as we've had 2 nights in a row at the Bosch, and I expect it to be like that again on Sunday night. We've been blessed with beautiful weather. Obviously, this guy beside me gets a ton of attention for a reason, but I want to start with the way we pitched. That's the backbone of every baseball game. If you pitch, you're going to have a chance to win. I thought Shea was outstanding. Their guy was outstanding. He's probably a first-rounder. 1 walk, 11 strikeouts. Holman's good. Opponents are hitting 167 against them. Big double plays we turned. Obviously, we got one on the interference. Ben Peterson got a big one of Tommy White, and then Dalton Pence has really worked this week on his off-speed. He went out there live on Monday. All he threw was probably change-ups and cutters to have it when he needed it. I thought he pitched really well. We played great defense. Gavin made some unbelievable plays at third base. And fitting for this team, too, to have Johnny Castagnozzi in there at the end to catch that ball. Obviously, we're not done yet, but I told Johnny and Vandy and these guys and Alvarez, we're in the position we're in because we got guys that, you know, it's hard if you're not playing and you've played a lot. That's difficult, but you choose to take the right road and you do what you're supposed to do. It helps the whole team. And then obviously Vance, you know, that was a huge swing of the bat for us, a no-doubter. Just an electric player that we're fortunate to have here, and then another big swing of the bat. And then we manufactured some runs late. The last thing I'll say, too, is it won't go in the box score, but that bump for a hit by Madera, being able to do that, you know, got Vance, I believe, that inning to the plate. So those things are important. We don't have anything to celebrate yet, but that was a good ball game between 2 just powerhouse baseball programs. So we'll take that win, move on, and get ready for tomorrow night.
All right, so I have questions for everybody, but please raise your hand. Michael.
Vance, baseball guys like to talk about the third time through the order, the third time facing a pitcher. It was your third time facing Holman when you hit the 3-run home run. Was that just a function of you getting more comfortable with the stuff that he was throwing?
Yeah, probably. He got me the first 2 times, and I wasn't on the fastball, so I went up there, just committed to the fastball, and got one.
Vance, how do you stay engaged when you're trying to endure a slump and break out of it?
Yeah, I think Casey told me the inning before, like, just have fun. Probably wasn't doing the best of that at this time of the year, which probably pressing a little bit. So, you know, just a reminder right then, just to kind of, you know, soak it in and just try to have fun.
Kind of on that slump, I think going back to the first game, we were 3 for 24 up until that point in those 2 homers you did. I guess getting out of the slump, how big are those 2 hits for you moving forward throughout the rest of the week?
Yeah, I guess for confidence they're big. I had no idea prior, so just staying with the process, just being where your feet are and taking it day by day.
For Shea and Dalton, what did you guys do to slow down the Tigers' offense today? What was the approach?
I think just going at them with our best stuff. For me, Coach Gaines, and Piask had a great week preparing for him, and then just going out there with confidence and doing our thing. I mean, myself, Ben picking me up there in the 4th or 5th inning, and then DP shutting the door. It's fun to watch, and we did a really good job of executing our game plan.
Yeah, go off that, just kind of the preparation we do going into the games. As Coach said, Monday our main focus was kind of work on the off-speed and stuff, the secondary pitches, and it helps. It helps take pressure off the fastball, and that's a credit to them. They notice stuff that we need to work on and get better every week.
Dalton, could you elaborate a little bit more on specifically what you're trying to do with the off-speed stuff in the weekend? And Coach Johnson over there said that pitch you threw to get double play, there wasn't a whole lot he could have done besides, you know, hit it on the ground. What was the plan of attack in that moment there?
Just throwing it more, getting a better feel for it. Coming into this weekend, I knew I was going to have to use it, and the coaches sat down, and that's what we came up with. Just use it more. Better. The more I use it, the better it gets.
Coach, with you having thrown Mateus and Poston last night, how big was it for Ben and Dalton to just go out there and eat those innings late in the game?
Yeah, you know, that those 10 years as a pitching coach, were so valuable for me. They've helped me a ton as a head coach because I sit down with our pitchers and I say, you have to be honest with me. Because this time of year, you want to be able to use guys back-to-back days. But I tell them, like, you have to tell me, like, how do you feel? You don't know how you feel until after you throw. You know, sometimes the pitch counts can be a little bit overrated, especially if you've managed your guys all year. So it was big, but those guys were ready. You know, they threw, and they all felt really good. And we have the type of relationship. It'll be the same thing with Dalton tomorrow. He'll get here. He'll do his post right now. And we'll have a conversation, and he'll give me a scale on where he is. And I trust our players, and if he feels good and we need him, we'll use them. And that's what we've always done here. You have to have that relationship with your players. Now, obviously, Sprague threw 93. He's not going to pitch tomorrow, even though he'd try to probably fight me to if he could. But that's where it comes from. But it does help. You know, those guys got that day. We didn't get them hot in the bullpen. And that stuff adds up for sure.
Shea, just the double plays, 3 of them, the defense, anything that they got that hit at somebody, it seemed like your defense played really well for you. Just got confidence that give for that.
Oh, it's insane. I mean, me and Coach Gaines were talking in the bullpen before the game, and Coach Gaines like, you just got to go in there and it's 1-on-1. I told Coach Gaines it's 9-on-1. So, I mean, going out there with that mentality, it's a game changer. And then up the middle, Madera and Wilkerson are insane. So it's a lot of fun to pitch for them, see what kind of plays they can make.
For Shea and Dalton, just, you know, Vance's first number, it's 0-0 through the first 5 innings, scoreless, and it's, you know, sort of like the tension's building. What was that just like watching the thing fly out of here, knowing you guys finally had a lead, just the way the game had sort of been progressing from your bench?
Yeah, I mean, it was knotted up at 0 before that, and then, I mean, it's incredible how hard he hits the ball and how far it goes. So it's a lot of fun to watch, and I'm glad he's in our lineup. You know, to pitch against him.
Yeah, I'll add into that. I didn't know he was in a slump because I didn't think he was. He still got on base, and he got a huge hit against Wake Forest. So the last person that was worried about was me. I was just like, okay, he'll do something electric here, and that was fun to see because that was a no doubter for sure.
Vance did, I'm sorry.
Yeah, front.
How important of a moment was Vance's second home run in the 7th, especially when considering, you know, you stranded the bases loaded there in the top of the inning?
I thought it was huge. He was about to have a really quick inning. They had the momentum, you know, after they scored those 2, or somewhat of the momentum. And then you got, was it 0-2? 0-2, and then boom, like just a bazooka over the net, I think, where it knocked the net down. And that's deflating because you're trying, if you score, you think how important, I know that shutdown inning is defensively, and I thought that really gave us all the momentum back.
Yeah, on that note, Vance, did you notice Luke change anything on that second home run, or was it kind of the same thing as the first one?
Not necessarily. He just left it a little bit over the plate, and I think, you know, I was just fortunate to get a pretty good pitch to hit. You know, the first one, or I think I fouled off a slider right before that. Kind of pulled off a little bit, similar location, but stayed down.
Scott, you guys get to play for a regional championship tomorrow. What's the message going in? Does it change at all with it being a trophy game, or how do you approach that?
You know, the message is the same as it's been all year. We've really dove into, as these guys say, King Saban's approach the whole season. But I think it works. I used it way back as a pitching coach, the importance of being process-oriented. And I told the guys, I don't want to hear anybody say one more. That can get you in trouble. Keep your eyes forward. You get that sleep, and you come out here and you play. And and then after 27 outs, you know, if you do that, you got a pretty good chance to win. So that'll be our approach, the same it always is. And we'll treat it like a weekend series, and we're trying to get that 3rd game tomorrow.
Coach, you've talked all year about your team and they'll play 27 outs. How do you think today's game and yesterday's game, when they came alive in those final innings, really exemplified that?
Yeah, I mean, they've bought into it, and the team has to make that decision. But that's the thing about baseball that is the beauty of baseball. I was fortunate as a volunteer assistant to be at UCLA. It might have been my first or second year. I think it might have been my first year. And we were down like 13-4 going into the 9th. And they had guys like Shea. This is a long time ago. I think 99. And, you know, everybody over here went to sleep, obviously, because we were getting our tails beaten. We came back and won that game. And I always think about that game like there's no clock. I mean, obviously there's a little bit of a clock now, I guess, but you got to play all of them. and the guys are more powerful now. So I tell those guys, do not look at that scoreboard. Obviously, you want to know how many outs in certain situations and the count. But you have to play 27, and I want teams that play us to know that no matter what, like we're coming at you 27 outs. If we're ahead, behind, and that's just how we're going to play, and that's a credit to these guys. I mean, they're the ones that lead in that locker room. I'm not in that locker room.
Coach, what is the game planning and scouting process in terms of tomorrow night when you don't know which team you're playing? I guess you kind of have 2 plans set in place and you just kind of roll with that.
Yeah, our coaches are unbelievable. You know, Coach Weir's obviously he's our offensive and hitting coach, and I think we set our single season record for home runs. Somebody told me today. He's really, really good, but he works hard on the opposing pitchers. Coach Riley, who's back with us, who's one of our coaches this year, finishing his degree. He works with Coach Weir's, and all of our staff does. But man, Coach Howell, you know, he got moved to the director of pitching development and performance, and so we basically have 2 pitching guys that are really good working their tails together, and that helps, and they've done an unbelievable job. But we haven't played Wofford, so you know we'll continue to prep for LSU, but then we will prepare like we're playing Wofford and be ready to play whoever wins the game. We're not going to assume one or the other.
All right, just a couple more here in the front row.
Having coached Vance for 3 years, are there moments when he comes to the plate where you can kind of sense, you know, that something big is coming from him?
I think that every time. I mean, I haven't coached a combination of power and speed, but then the third thing that people don't talk about is the grade on the makeup. And that's a big deal in our program. And makeup is your character, your integrity. The kid's shown up every single day. He's a lead by example guy. He's a great student. So really, since Vance has been here, I haven't said much to him because I don't need to say anything to him. You know, I remember those tears coming down when he couldn't play last year, and I was hoping and praying that he would have a healthy, you know, year. And you know, he's a big reason we've had the success. He's a huge reason I've been fortunate to have, you know, the success, you know, in our coaching staff, because good players, you know, that's the deal. I mean, your players are the program, and Vance has been a huge part of that.
I assume it'll be 80 tomorrow night. What are the challenges for him? He's only pitched about an inning in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then also, what does your bullpen look like tomorrow night?
Everybody be ready to go unless they tell me they're not. And Hal, you know, he's been good. He's been good for us. He's been good in that third starter role when we lost Boaz, unfortunately. And then a guy like Ben Peterson, again, you know, warming up at 96. You know, that allowed us to move Halk into that bullpen. So that was impressive. But he'll be ready. You know, I don't think there are any challenges. You know, he'll have the normal, hey, I'm pitching in a regional, but after a couple pitches, that stuff goes away. We talk about it all the time, how much more B. Riley was hilarious talking about the difference in being a coach and being a player. Because as a player, after the first pitch, you just play. But as a coach, it's a different lens. He's figuring that out.
Thanks so much, y'all.
Thank y'all.